Foundation awardee luncheon at Gala. Thank you so much for being here. So I hope you make yourselves very comfortable in this beautiful brand new space. It's unbelievable what they have been able to do to transform this space for us. So thank you Laredo College for hosting us here in our Billy Hall Student Center. I'd like to thank Dr. Nora Garza, Laredo College leadership. We'll tell you more about Dr. Garza, our Vice President of Research Development and Internal Affairs. Dr. Ricardo Solis, President of the College. Dean Aliada Unimaker. Lupita Cepeda, President of the Board of Directors of Laredo College. I'm sorry that I'm from out of town, so we have dignitaries that are here. Please know I'm recognizing you exactly where I am, and I'm grateful that you're here too. If you don't mind waving your arm, if you are an elected representative, I think Mr. Henry Coyac's office is going to show up. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. If you want plates to be served, please just make yourselves comfortable. Would our BeIt Board of Directors raise your hand? Advisors, representatives, and anybody else who's in attendance representing our foundation, just wave your hand. Thank you. These are the amazing souls that brought our foundation to life. I'd like to recognize Mr. Samuel H. Vesper Jr., Chairman of the Board, Mrs. Cody Vesper, yes. Our Advisory Board, Ms. Terry Britz, our CPA and Treasurer of the Board, Mrs. Yolanda Flores, who is here representing Mr. Albert Flores, who's on the board, but wasn't able to be here. He was going to be our keynote speaker, but then at the last moment, courts decided to open and he wasn't able to make it, so we wish him luck. So thank you so much for bringing our programs to life. You really do make a world of difference to the members of South Texas that are able to benefit from the funds and your generosity that come directly from their heart. I'd like to recognize the Idea Sky Snacking Company and the Tasting Room Cafe for catering our delicious lunch. We wanted to be able to share a meal because we believe that families share meals together. And now, since this is our first Gala, we wanted to make sure we started with our BeIt family. So now we are all related. So thank you very much for being a part of our BeIt family forever. Before we start our official program, I'd like to thank God for the food, the hands that prepared it, those who made this event happen, and especially Chris, if you don't mind waving your hand wherever you are, Annette, who I imported with me from California, did all of the behind-the-scenes work. I picked him up from the airport at 10:30 yesterday, and we didn't even check into the hotel until 10:30 at night. We're running around setting up, so thank you. Dr. Nora Garza, and all of the teams that helped bring this together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And God, thank you in advance for the generous donations you'll be encouraging people to make in those little tiny envelopes that are sitting in front of you. Just thank you in advance, because that generosity means we keep our administration costs so we can keep our programs going now. Both my mother and my father are from Laredo, Texas. And last night I drove by both of their childhood homes. It looks a little bit different than it did when I was growing up, and I thought that those houses were so huge. And I just remember playing in the backyard, picking pecans, running around, playing in the anthills residentially, and just enjoying the sounds of Laredo that you don't hear anywhere else. You really just don't. The smells of Laredo smelled beautiful. beautiful. You can smell the earth and the iron in the soils here. You can hear beautiful birds that you just don't hear anywhere else. You hear the cycads that you don't hear, cicadas that you don't hear anywhere else. Mostly they're dormant in most areas of the world. So when somebody told me that they were actually dormant for 17 years, I'm like, really? Because I hear them at my grandmother's house every single day. So there's special sounds and senses that delight my heart when I get to be in Laredo. We spent 2 different days driving through the cemetery because each side of my family is here. So the BeIt Foundation represents South Texas because that's where our ancestors are, and because that's where the investors asked us to focus the funding. So when we talk about funding the efforts of South Texas, we really leave between San Antonio to Laredo as a guide. But we're just emphasizing those areas. If there are areas that you think really need our support, come and talk to me and let me know what you have in mind, and you can see how we can leverage those funds to be able to get your needs met too. Because the whole purpose of the BeIt Foundation is to be able to step in to what we want to be able to accomplish and just be it now. The BeIt Foundation opened its virtual doors October 2020, smack in the middle of COVID. With the generosity of the Norman Patricia Hernandez Fund and the Samuel A. Investor Jr. Family Fund. I met Norma's niece and a longtime friend of investors who knew Sam even my grandmother times. And it's an honor to create legacy giving. It's an honor to create legacy giving in their names to keep their philanthropic endeavors going for years to come. My Aunt Norma would give to anyone in need, and I mean anyone. She would drive through someplace, order her food that she wanted. She would ask the servers if they were in college. She would pay for her order, and then she would give a scholarship in return for her ice cream, which she loved. And that's what she would do. Other times, she would read in the newspaper about families that had suffered a devastating loss. She would contact them, adopt them, and make sure their needs were always met. This was my Aunt Norma. You can remember her light because you couldn't help but see it brightly shining in any room that she was in. Before she passed, she actually left us a very large packet of what her wishes were for the foundation. And we did our best to stay within the guidelines of what she was interested in doing. And for her funding efforts, we really crafted it into things that she would have done for herself had she still been alive. This is what she looked like right here. Thank you for providing that picture. I'd like to think that she's smiling at us from heaven right now. Her surviving siblings aren't able to be here. My father is a physician in LA, and actually he has a lot of COVID patients, and it's just not safe for him to come. But we're grateful to acknowledge this gift and to be able to really spend time appreciating what South Texas has left for us. And to be able to accept an award in her behalf, we have our family, Naomi, Camila, and Ariana Hernandez, who are here. Please come and join us as a person. Naomi says she's already crying. So, Naomi is the wife of my father's brother, so Aunt Norma's older brother's son, David. And Naomi happens to be much more intimately connected to my aunt because when Naomi was born, my Aunt Norma was the very first one to hold her when she was born. So there's a very special place for Aunt Norma to all of us. Thank you so much. Vester family. They're a beautiful family sitting right over here. Samuel H. Vester Jr. and his family are the most generous people on the planet, and I'm not kidding. I mean, I can look at you and just say, you are generous. So Sam always said, money is only as good as the good that it does. And I hope every single one of you remembers that because it's true. That's the motto that our foundation lives by, and it's what's instilled in everyone that he meets. His family is also generous beyond words, continuously giving to organizations, students, families, orphanages, religious groups, and anyone else in need. When we met to set up the organization, Mr. Vester wanted to ensure that there was still a way to give to those that were clearly in need of basic living. Yeah, his family has been extremely active in creating pathways for San Antonio and Laredo communities to thrive. And I'm just grateful to you. It's with heartfelt delight that we honor Samuel H. Vester and his family with, I would have said a beat because his son does these amazing beats. This is James and Stephen, and they are so amazing as well. Mr. Vester is a longtime friend of the family, and I talked to my father on the drive down from San Antonio, and he said that you're the one that modeled to him how to be generous and how to give. And he wishes he could be here today to celebrate and to acknowledge how much you have made a difference in his life. His wife, Chloe, has been a strategist and creative mind that helps us target specific communities in Laredo and beyond. We really are so good at just thinking, where can this money be leveraged the most to make the best impact? And I really appreciate that. Their children, Stephen and James, have been raised to be kind and helpful stewards. Just the other day, my rental car broke down, and I was like, don't drive away, can you help me start my car? And after driving around with the Vesters to help make it come to life, Stephen and James came and jumped my car. They're just those good kind of boys. I'm grateful to both of you too. Thank you. So I hope you will take this rainbow founding dome piece of art that is just an array of the endless impact that your life gives to our South Texas communities. Thank you. I love you both.
Thanks to CO and especially to Terry Fritz, because we've worked several years to bring this thing to a head, and this has got a final goal, and thanks to them that it happened.
You beat me to it. I was going to thank Terry too, because Terry has been the one that has driven all over town, setting up bank accounts, trying to figure out how to apply to the IRS, how to make things come to life. And I'm so grateful to you. Thank you, Terry. Excuse me as I figure out technology here. There we go. Beautiful family. So what does the BeIt program, what does the BeIt Foundation do? It's interesting because a lot of people get confused with what the name of the foundation is. And there were a lot of different considerations in choosing our name. Many philanthropic names were taken. We wanted to stand out, and we also wanted to be inspiring of what we believe people have inside of them to be able to do. So the BeIt Foundation has 4 funding areas. We offer scholarships for undergraduates and graduate students. We offer pay-it-forward grants. So that's basically a service learning grant for people who are interested in doing some sort of good in their community, but don't have the ability to keep the bills going or don't have the ability to pay for the training, but they would like to give back to their community, and getting a training or being able to take some time off to be able to get training could help them be able to give back to their community. This year we actually didn't have anybody that applied for that program, so we improvised and did something else, which I'll tell you in just a moment. We also offer emergency assistance, and again, that was most important to Mr. Bester, in Laredo as well as in San Antonio. And I know that Catholic Charities Archdiocese of San Antonio is on our Zoom. I forgot to mention, to welcome our Zoom participants that are on our call today, joining us here at this gala, and also in Facebook Live, which is happening with Daniel over here. And I hope that you'll come and say hello to those that are joining us. And thank you to Maria, who is taking pictures as well. And I know we have a Laredo College representative. Please make sure you get your picture taken. We would love to have you represented here forever too. We also offer wellness education, but this education is specific to mental health stigma reductions. We know that lately, there has been a lot in the media about reducing mental health. We've got even Oprah talking about it, the shows that she has been putting out lately. But what we don't necessarily have is the connection to how to make that happen and how to understand trauma. Where when we started looking for trauma resources and wellness resources in South Texas, it was very difficult to find trauma-informed care in South Texas. And specifically trainings around eye movement desensitization, which we'll talk about in a moment, low energy neurofeedback systems, and other quality systems that are targeted to address trauma. And yet we know that trauma does not discriminate. It is everywhere. And people don't really understand the impact of trauma. That we might have family members or loved ones or even friends that make us anxious or don't get out of bed, or that we don't really know how to handle because we don't understand how to talk about mental illness or how to be able to manage what's just normal and making talking about our anxiety and our stress normal. We all survived COVID together, so we know what the impact of high levels of stress and high levels of cortisol look like. When you don't have that kind of background and you don't know what's appropriate to talk about, it makes it very difficult to be understood when we're just all trying to survive and thrive together. So our programs are aimed to do that. Help us be able to cope, help us to be able to be loved, and help us to be able to be connected so that nobody is left out. So we are creating a You Matter film series, which we hope will be evergreen to help people understand not just mental illness, but mental health, and to be able to talk about what's normal. Everything is normal if we allow it to be so. Anxiety is normal. 100% of us, all of us, experience stress. The person that doesn't experience stress is dead. Stress is what keeps us alive. Stress is what helps us thrive. Stress is also the excitement that keeps us going and working toward a goal. Stress is what helps us be it. And that's what we want helping people to help understand as well. I've been working with the Binational Healthy Initiatives, which in Texas go through the Mexican consulate in San Antonio. So we've been working with the Mexican consulate and their Ventanilla de Salud to put together some efforts to help educate people about early childhood education, about understanding childhood trauma. which includes early childhood education on the solution-focused side. But what we hope to do is help people have access to resources in helping to improve quality parenting, helping to see that all of us are parents of all of our children and that we create the village together, and that we have the ability to be able to make a change starting earlier in life. Because as we know, the research has shown that for children who have trauma before the age of 5, the sooner we intervene, the more likely it is that they are going to have normal outcomes for full brain development. But for every year after 5 years old, chances of normal brain development go down by 50%. That's a lot. It's much easier to raise a healthy and strong child, a baby, than it is to fix the wounds that have happened over the years. So as you look at your neighbors in the eyes, or as you see the pain and suffering of somebody, try to think about what story they may be carrying as they're introducing themselves to you. The smile covers a lot, but then there's also the truth. And we all get connected by both the happiness as well as what we've carried together. Right here at Laredo College, we are going to be hosting an eye movement desensitization reprocessing training for up to 20 people. We still have scholarships available and are desperately seeking mental health providers that would be willing to be trained. This particular technique is used to help people for any goal, but there's a lot of research about how this can be helpful to help people resolve distress and trauma. So if you have a phobia, like all these people that have been coming to me recently with needle phobia for their COVID vaccine, we've been doing EMDR with them so that they can walk in and get their vaccine. The people who have suffered other kinds of traumatic experiences, whether in childhood or in adulthood, this particular technique can reduce distress and boost self-belief until somebody feels like that memory or that experience no longer haunts them and they can actually start thinking about a future template that they want to be able to see in their world. So that's going to be here, October 15th to 17th, and then also the 22nd to the 24th. And thanks to Dr. Nora Garza, she has helped us put together what that training will look like here. And we will, if you're interested or have friends or family that are interested in being trained, again, please send them my way. You can send them directly to the website and they can apply for the scholarship right online. We still have 8 remaining scholarships available, so please get it out there. They don't have to attend in person, although it does work a little bit better if they do. They can also attend virtually, and that would be great. So I'd like to invite Catholic Charities of Archdiocese of San Antonio is on Zoom, so we are welcoming you to join us at the podium, our virtual podium. But may we please have Salvation Army of Laredo come up. I cannot tell you the amount of good that Salvation Army of Laredo has done over the years. And especially just in this last year, where this was the first year that we were funding anybody, and you all were our first donations. And the extent of what you were able to do in such a short amount of time, where not a very big budget, you really made leveraging of our funds stretched to the ultimate last extreme. And I hope that you'll speak a little bit about what you were able to do, and if you don't mind, anyone, there you go, please do.
Well, first of all, thanks all for having us here. We thank BeIt, because without BeIt, we wouldn't be able to do what we say the Salvation Army people do. We say that not to say we do better than anybody else, we say that we try to do the best we can with the resources that are provided for us. And so because of the resources that were provided from BeIt, we were able to help well over, feed over 6,000 people and give well over 200 some boxes of food towards families in the community. And it came at a time when, as y'all know, we went through not just COVID, but we went through the freeze. And that was a very important time because there was a lot of families, and most of us, maybe most of us sitting here are sitting in a comfortable situation where y'all were able to get to that, but there was a lot of families, a lot of elders. And so we forget that we got a lot of seniors in our community that need help and assistance, and because of that, we're able to help and provide for some of the seniors because they are an important part of our community also. And so we always make sure that we provide and for our community here in Laredo and surrounding area.
Mrs. Sylvester has something that she would like to share with you for our 2021 budget. A check for $12,500. Another $6,200. Thank you so much for taking care of us here. Thank you. And for our friends on Zoom, Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of San Antonio, we also have a check.
Can you hear me?
Right there.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we can't see you, but hopefully you can see this.
Yes.
Excellent. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. I just wanted to, I'm sorry we couldn't be there in person. We would have loved to come visit you guys, but I just wanted to thank you on behalf of Catholic Charities for this generous support. And you're really honored to be one of your first awardees and so grateful for the work being done by your foundation. And is blessed to be able to help community families during their time of need and help prevent many evictions and many families from having their utilities disconnected. So again, thank you so much, and hopefully we'll be able to come in person next time.
Fantastic. Thank you. Now, in San Antonio, rent is pretty expensive, and they were able to help over 14 families have access to immediate housing with deposits and rental assistance. That's a lot, and we're just grateful for what you were able to do for our community members there in San Antonio. So thank you, Catholic Charities. I'm supposed to point out to you, Chris will be mad if I don't say this, that in front of you, you should have these little envelopes with donation slips in them. If you happen to have in your heart any kind of donation, what do you mean these? Yes, those, thank you, Terry. Any little bit really counts. And as you can see, over $6,000 were fed because of whatever was given in this small amount. If we could increase our fund, imagine what we could do. Imagine how we could partner with the college, with the community, and beyond. So you see Chris, she'll have an iPad back there. If you prefer to just have her take your credit card, she can run it right back there. Or you can find Chris or me, or you can just leave them on the tables and we will collect your envelopes at the end. Thank you. Okay. So now the exciting part, not that, is our BeIt scholars. Can we invite our BeIt scholars up to the podium, please? I love these students. They are amazing. They inspire me. I just hearing all of your dreams and goals and what you've already done at such a young age. It's been so inspiring, and I just light up with delight every time I hear from one of you. So we have a certificate for each of you, and Harry, would you mind helping me give out some of our certificates? And Matt, and Tony and Yogi, would you mind? I'm going to give one to each so we can. So, So Caleb Flores, Terry Gritz is an accountant, and she would like to give you yours since you want to be an accountant too.
I was just going to mention that Caleb is following in my field of accounting and that, so that's exciting. Future accountants of America.
Yes, I just wanted to thank each and every one of y'all for attending. I'm so grateful for this opportunity and this life-changing opportunity that Dr. Seal and the BeIt Foundation has provided for us. And I just want to show my gratitude by thanking each and every one of y'all. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you for having me here and for giving me such a life-changing opportunity. But especially I would like to say thank you to my mom for pushing me. If it wasn't for her, I would not be here.
I would like to say, in honor of my husband who is in here, he thought the recipients were just wonderful. And I see tears, and if my husband was here, he'd probably join. He was very touched by your passion, and he is very touched by Mr. Vester's passion as well. So I am very, very happy and proud to be here in my husband's place. Congratulations to all of you.
Good afternoon, my name is Laredo College, and I just want to extend a expression of gratitude to everyone here, especially to the donors who made this possible, because this scholarship opportunity is so important, and growing up in a community where there is not a lot of educational opportunities being offered, this is not something that comes around every day. And so I would like to thank the donors. I'd also like to thank the people who made this organization and who run it, and who make sure that everything runs smoothly. I know that now with this scholarship, I'm confident that I will reach my goals and that I will be able to reach my future endeavors of becoming a dentist. And because of this organization and because of my parents who push me every single day to be the best version of myself, I have been inspired to one day come back to my community and give back just as this organization is doing so today. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Marcella. I'm super honored and grateful to be here. I owe all my successes to the kindness and generosity of everybody and to God, so all glory be to God. Thank you.
Now, some of this is going to communication, so pretty soon you might be getting some communications from Marcella too.
Allow Rodriguez and allow is an imam studying law. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I want to thank my family for pushing me to achieve academically everything, and especially with this scholarship. This is really going to help reach my goal to become a lawyer. And I'm really grateful to everyone here for the foundation, the donors, to the marketing team, for everyone for making this gala happen here today. And in the future, I do plan to give back to this foundation since you guys are doing so much to help me. Thank you.
So, Naomi is, what did you do at Gala? Professor of Communication Science and speech language pathology, right? So when I asked everybody to just get the word out about the scholarships, you put it out there to everybody. Did any of you even know who applied? No. So I just said, hi, there's a scholarship.
Of course, I do teach only speech pathology students. So I do maybe somebody might. Ana Rodriguez. Come on up.
Well, thank you everyone. It's been an honor to receive this scholarship. This helps me a lot to, first of my dream to be a speech pathology professor. Hernandez, she was my supervisor on my first semester, so I had really great mentor with her. I would like to say thank you to my sister to be here. I would love that my both parents will be here, but they live in Laredo across Mexico, and they're Mexican, so they're not able to cross here. But yeah, so this is for them, and thank you so much.
Anna, the only graduate student that applied, so you represent for all of us. Thank you. One thing you may not know is that our scholarship is a little different than most. The reason why we're making such a huge deal about our scholarship is because our scholars are able to continue to reapply under the criteria until they reach their highest degree. So we may have you in our lives for the next 8 to 12 years. I know Florence is interested in being a cardiothoracic surgeon. That takes some time, so get used to the space. You want to come over right? Don't they look amazing? This is the future standing here. You guys are amazing. You make us look very, very good. Thank you. Dr. Narayakai, here. Thank you. So you've heard me say her name a lot because she really is the one that I talked to her and I say, I'm interested in doing this. What do you think? And she's like, oh, we can make that happen. Oh, I'm thinking of having this event. She's like, oh, well, we have this beautiful room in the Billy Hall Center, or the Billy Hall Hall, and we could do it there. I'm interested in doing a training. Oh, that's great. We have contacts with mental health providers, and we even have a clinic that we work closely with right here on campus. We can make that happen. Oh, we have a media center right on campus. We want to do videos. We can make that happen. So, Dr. Nora Garza, we would like to present you with the Make It Happen Award.
Absolutely. Rocio and I go back a very long way, since she left her security blanket at my house. Her mother is my best friend. She said, don't wash it, she'll cry. So we didn't. So we go way, way back. But we can make it happen because Laredo College is here for all the different things, early childhood, healthcare, etc. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention, besides our president, Lupita, Lupita Cepeda, who is our board president, we also have with us here Mr. Antonio Martinez, a board member, David Arrezola, who is our interim provost, Dr. Maricela Rodriguez Medina, who is not with us today, Mr. Edwin Lopez, who is the director of the Gateway Clinic, that I told her, oh, we can make it happen. Of course, Ms. Adriana Maker, who was helping us with all these beautiful arrangements, Beatriz Gutierrez, Mr. Iñiguez, the crew, Obed, everyone here, Dr. Henry Cavazos has already left, Dr. David Arrezola, Dr. Fred Solis, all these people, Laredo College is here to work with the BeIt Foundation. One of the scholars is one of our students from the Leaps grant. So this is a beautiful place, and it's a good place for us to connect and to help our community. So I apologize if I left people out, but this was their event. But I'd love to, like to thank you. There's a lot of beautiful things they didn't mention. They're going to give us, they already did, $20,000 for early childhood scholarships that our students are going to be announced later on. So there are going to be incredible things. And to wrap up, I don't want to say more, but Norma was a beautiful soul. And we went to college together, and her daddy David and my best friend Gracie, we go back a long, long way. But her smile and her kindness were unbelievable. And Mr. Mesmer, thank you so much. Thank you for choosing Laredo College, because we're here for our community. So let's be it.
So Dr. Garza was talking a little bit about what we are working on early childhood education in partnership with the college. And thanks to Tommy, we have focused on the South Campus, where we believe that the need and the access is great. And that if we focus in the South Campus area, the likelihood to be able to improve quality education can go so much farther. So what we are planning to do is to have students who are interested in increasing their education in early childhood to be able to know that we will help offer stipends for them if they finish every semester toward their certification in early childhood. Now this is a really important thing to understand. Early childhood education never recuperates. They never get their money back for what they invest in their education, because the cost of going to school far outweighs what they're ever going to get back in their salaries. So if we support high quality education, then that means that we're cultivating the future of our children to have another 800 or 800 or 8,000 people here who are going to be the future future of our Laredo community. So I'd like to recognize Mrs. Stoney-Vester for her commitment to the most vulnerable communities and offer you a basket that came from the La Línea Spice Hacking Company because she loves to cook and she is a fabulous chef. We have a Texas spice basket for you. We also have some flowers for you to take home with you, Toby, but I know your arms are full right now. So I think we did it. Somebody else won't work. Well, well, for all of our friends that are on Zoom or Facebook Live, I just really want to appreciate you for being here. We know that Sabrina is online as well, and we didn't get to give Sabrina her certificate. But Sabrina, we have your BeIt scholarship certificate that we'll mail to you. We also have shirts for you. There you go, Sabrina. And if you would like to say something, let me see if I can figure out how to get this close. There you go. Thank you guys.
Hi, yes, I'm so sorry for not being there, but I'm so thankful for receiving the scholarship and how much it means to me as a student going to college right now. Thanks to all of the donors and the people that made this possible and the people who work for the BeIt Foundation. I'm happy I was when I received the scholarship and happy was to make my transition to graduate school later on down the years, of course. So thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. Again, you make us look really, really good. She's interested in astrophysics, philosophy, and all sorts of other things. She was in the foster care system and wants to give back to the community, and she has also been supporting and mentoring current foster kids, right? I think she said, yeah, that's what I read on the screen, but we couldn't hear you. So thank you, Sabrina. You might be wondering what dessert is. The centerpieces are your dessert. They're beautiful cookies that were made by Judith Gunhead, and she made these wonderful centerpieces. So please take one or as many as you can eat, and know that this sweetness is a representation of the sweetness and generosity that comes from all of your heart. So please fill out one of those envelopes as you eat them. Sorry, the PowerPoint is stuck, but otherwise you would see a beautiful last line that says, thank you, and that we actually need volunteers. So we need volunteers for everything. If you know anybody who has a little bit of time on their hands and is willing to teach me about the Laredo community and South Texas communities, I would be very grateful because we left Texas when I was 7.5 years old. And I don't have the same kinds of contacts that you all have. So if you are willing to spend a little bit of time with me, or if you're willing to do outreach, we have lots of needs. We're looking for folks to work with us on creating and editing visual content and editing videos, doing social media, you're around somewhere, marketing design, research and development, fundraising, you name it, we need it. You're looking at our crew here that runs the behind the scenes work, Chris and Ed, and me, and we run it from California. So any kind of contacts that you would be willing to help us make, I would be very, very grateful. I'm looking forward to hosting this gala together with all of you for many years to come. And look at this very first one that we created together. You are the first. Firsts are often very lonely because leadership means you gotta do it alone. But look at how many of us are leading together. When all of us lead together, there is strength in numbers. I'm grateful for all of you for being here today. I'm grateful for our BeIt scholars, who I look forward to learning so much more about over the years. You really are the face of our foundation. And if you're interested in a tour of the campus, we had offered tours in advance. But if you are interested in a tour of the campus, just let us know and we can take down your information and help make that happen. I actually see my Aunt Elsie back there, who is the CEO of Laredo Spice Packing Company, and she makes it happen. Beautiful basket and made sure that our food was delicious. Thank you so much to all of you for being here. I would love to have as many pictures as possible, so make sure you stop by our photo walls and BeIt. Have a great day.